Tonight, flood wreaks havoc, kills one in Kano. DSS releases journalist Soyinka with host passport. In business, government urged to sell refineries. On the foreign scene, Lebanon ministry says one dead in Israeli strike. In sport news tonight, Matos says 2 children, 1 man show at Bayern Munich. Hello and welcome to all the viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime, here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Vikan Michael. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. We begin tonight by informing you that President Bola Tinubu has mourned the Emir of Ningi in Bauchi State, Yunusa Daniyaya. In a statement released by his spokesman Hajiri Ngalale, the president commiserated with the people of Ningi Emirate and the Bauchi state government over the monarch's death. The president prays for the repose of the soul of the departed traditional ruler and condoles with his family and all those grieving the loss. Vice President Kashim Shettima has reiterated the significance of marital and family values in nation building, calling on parents and couples to exercise patience and love in their families, which will reflect the larger Nigerian society. Shettima was a special guest at the wedding of Kezia Kevers, daughter of Taraba State Governor Dr. Abu Kevers, in Jalingo. He also reflected on the bittersweet nature of parenthood. The Vice President emphasized key elements for successful union, stating that some of the most essential qualities in marriage are communication, patience, tolerance, perseverance, and love. Away from that, the need for media organizations to refocus their attention on reporting women's health has come to the fore. At the media parley to strengthen accountability and progress in Kano State, experts say there is an urgent need for change in our approach to reporting women's health issues. Organized by the Kano State-led accountability mechanism with support from Pathfinder International, the media interactive meeting is geared towards encouraging journalists to report issues related to women's health across the Kano State by holding government and relevant agencies accountable. Our correspondent Idris Jibril has the details.
Organized by the Kano State-led accountability mechanism with the support from Pathfinder International, this media interactive meeting is geared toward encouraging journalists to report issues related to women's health across Kano State by holding the government and relevant agencies accountable.
Really holding people accountable in Nigeria is difficult. Like, since I came to office, nobody holds me accountable. Even I'm happy that somebody from the house is around. They just say I should send mid-year performance, and that's all.
Over the years, government and non-governmental organizations have been working to find a lasting solution to women's related issues, which are believed to be poorly or completely underreported by the media. Hence, these experts believed that the need for change in approach is necessary.
Where exactly are we? Perhaps in strengthening this and then measuring progress, we need to also look at, are we really doing the right thing? One of the things is changing mindset, changing approach. One of the approach is this: the monitor, review, and act. Is this still the same? Is it still holding us accountable?
There's always a sad story looking at our indices of maternal mortality and perinatal mortality. So it's very crucial for us to have this kind of parley, because I think even though there are so many strategies in place that really accounts for all what is happening, even the poor indices. But then I think this is another avenue for us to see how we are going to brainstorm and have more ideas to strengthen the women's health, especially the girls' aspect.
According to the Kano State-led accountability mechanism, the problem of funding, training and manpower are some of the issues that needs to be addressed despite pocket of achievements recorded within the last couple of years.
There are a lot of barriers, if we look at it, that constrain women to access that contraceptives as a whole. So these barriers can be education, can be lack of capitals, economic aspects, a lot of things. So A360 doesn't just focus on that contraceptives. We look at how we can support women to break those barriers.
While the media is expected to redouble its efforts toward reporting women's health, experts also promise to collaborate with journalists in providing data that will aid the work of the media in strengthening their commitments.
Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Organized by the
One person has been killed while several others injured after 13 houses collapsed in Kalfa Mata area of Kano State. The incident followed heavy rains that wreaked havoc in the neighborhood. Global Television correspondent Idris Jibril visited the area and filed this report.
Mata have been plunged into mourning after heavy rains caused significant damage, resulting in the collapse of 13 mold-built houses. The tragic incident led to the death of a woman known locally as Maman Abba. According to local accounts, the tragedy occurred on Saturday when one of the collapsed buildings fell on the woman and her child while they were asleep. Hajia Baba Lare, the sister of the deceased, recounted the heartbreaking incident, highlighting the devastation caused by the heavy rains. On Friday, it rained heavily and there was a loud thunderstorm. Since then, I could not sleep. I got up and was praying in the name of Allah. After the thunderstorm, not up to 15 minutes later, the room collapsed on her and her child while they were sleeping. Aisha Yahya Gidan Shayi, who narrowly escaped with her children from one disaster, faced another tragic event when the building they were in collapsed on them. We were fast asleep after dawn when suddenly we had a loud crash. I woke up to find myself trapped under the rubble. I saw some children wailing and told them to stop crying and recite the Islamic phrase, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun, because I thought it was the end of us. One of my daughter managed to get up and run away. A total of 13 houses, including those belonging to Balaraba Yahya, Aisha Yunusa, Zainab Muhammad, Usman Bello, and several others in the Kofar Mata area were affected by the incident. Muhammad Jibrin, a community leader in the Kofar Mata, reported that authorities have yet to take any action or response to the disaster. Up until now, the government has not done anything about it. But within our community, even before the building collapsed, the youth had come together to clear and sanitize the environment and remove all the garbage in our water channels. He's urging to the government to provide assistance to the community in the wake of the disaster, while appealing to local authorities to come to their aid. Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Now, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who will lead his colleagues from the Southwest, prominent Yoruba leaders and other relevant stakeholders at the Yoruba National Day lecture scheduled to take place on Monday at the Professor Wole Soyinka Lecture Theatre at the University of Ibadan. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who also served as the chairman of the occasion, will deliver a lecture entitled National Unity and Agitation for Self-Determination, the Way Forward for Nigeria. The Action People's Party has called on Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara to seek re-election under its platform in 2027, even as it said the governor neither owns a party nor is a member of the fold. The state APP chairman Tony Nwokoro started this when the immediate past leadership of the party in the state, led by Kenneth Atata, paid him a courtesy visit at his party's secretariat in Port Harcourt, the state capital. Nwokoro said the party will make its statement with the October 5th local government elections in the state, saying it's determined to change the narrative in the state. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency NAMET has forecast a series of thundery and rainy events across the country from Sunday through Tuesday. In its weather outlook release, NAMET predicts thunderstorms in the northern state of Borno, Jigawa, Taraba, Adamawa, Bauchi, and Gombe during the morning hours on Sunday. The agency says it further anticipates that thunderstorms will extend to most parts of the northern region in the afternoon and the evening hours of Sunday. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru has donated 20 million naira to the Jigawa state government to support the relief efforts of the state for residents affected by the recent flood disaster. The Director of Information and Public Relations, Ministry of Defense, Ensure Ogwabike, stated that Badru met the delegation when he visited the Jigawa governor to commiserate with him on the flood which ravaged the state and resulted in a loss of lives and properties. And now the Chief Judge of Ondo State, Justice Olusula, has set up an investigative panel to look into the circumstances surrounding the judgment delivered by Chief Magistrate Tokwe Alejana of the State Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Okwebo, Lagos government area, has a court sentenced a man to 3 years imprisonment for stealing. The statement signed by the Chief Registrar of the State Judiciary Yetunde Ajaloku said the judiciary is disturbed about the judgment and the uproar it was generated on social media within and outside the state. The Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Ultimate Health, Lekan Ewenla, has called on the federal government to enforce stricter compliance with the National Health Insurance Law to increase the enrollment of Nigerians in the scheme. Ewenla argued that without a more robust enforcement strategy of the law to bring on board more Nigerians in the informal sector, the goal of universal health coverage may remain unattainable. He emphasized the need for government to play a more active role in ensuring that both employers and individuals comply with existing health insurance policies. Now, a Vietnam-bound businessman, Iba Sunisi Nasuke, has excreted 68 wraps of cocaine after he was arrested by operative of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The NDLA had on August 12 arrested a Vietnam-bound businessman, Paul Mbaduga, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport after he tested positive for ingesting cocaine. Mbaduga has created a total of 88 wraps of cocaine, weighing 1.710 kilograms. In a statement released on Sunday, the NDLA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said Nosiki was arrested while attempting to board the first flight out of Lagos to Abuja. The regional editor of the Conversation Africa and an investigative journalist, Adejuwon Soyinka, has been released. Operative of the Department of State Services arrested Soyinka at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos on Sunday. Soyinka was picked up shortly after arriving from the United Kingdom. And the Niger State government has called on the Nigerian army to deploy its troops to communities in the state presently under the siege of bandits. The state acting governor Yakubu Gaba made the call during a chat with newsmen during the Fido's prayer for 13 farmers killed by the bandits in the local government. The call followed a series of attacks in several local governments in the state where the residents were either killed or abducted. In some cases, shops were razed after looting. Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has condemned the abduction, torture, and the brutal killing of Alhaji Issa Bawa, the Sakin of Gatawa's local government, Sokoto State. The National Secretary, Malam Bello, made the commendation in a statement in Abuja. He said that the killing of the traditional ruler was not only traumatic, but it symbolized the barbarity of the perpetrators. You're watching News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Prime returns, Telegram CEO Pavel arrested at French airport. Details of these and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. You're watching News Prime. Many thanks for staying with us. Around to business, Nigeria is seeking World Bank's approval to restructure a $650 million loan allocated to the Nigeria Improved Child Survival Program for Human Capital. The restructuring paper says the request follows a midterm review of the project, which highlighted the need for strategic adjustment to better align with the government's evolving approach to health sector reform, particularly in child and maternal health. Former Nigerian ambassador says the new upward review of the fees for Nigerian passport will not reduce the Jagba syndrome, but rather worsen the hardship afflicting the people. The Nigerian Immigration Service recently announced that a 100% increment for the passport will begin on September 1st, 2024 to ensure the quality and integrity of the Nigerian standard passport system. The service said a 32% passport page booklet with 5 years validity previously charged at 35,000 naira has increased to 50,000 naira, while a 64 passport booklet with 10-year validity, which was 70,000, will be 100,000 naira. Away from that, Nigeria's electricity distribution companies collectively raked in about 3.95 trillion naira revenue between 2019 and the first quarter of 2024. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics showed revealed an upward trajectory in revenue generation over the past 5 years, as the power distributors made 482.6 billion naira in 2019, 526.8 billion naira in 2020, 761.2 billion naira in 2021, 828.1 billion naira in 2022, 1.07 billion naira in 2023, and 291.6 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024. Experts attribute this consistent growth in revenue to several factors, including ongoing tariff adjustment, moving towards cost-reflective pricing, which has allowed the discos to align the revenue with the cost of providing electricity. The federal government has been urged to sell the government-owned Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries to fund the modular ones. All 3 refineries are under the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the federal government oil firm. The Crude Oil Refineries Association of Nigeria met the call for the sale of the refineries in an interview, saying that it's the only way out of the instant fuel crisis in the country. Minister of State for Defense Dr. Bello Matawalle has donated 15 trailer loads of fertilizer to members of the state chapter of the All Progressive Congress in Zamfara State. The minister's donation was handed to the secretary of the party by the chairman of the state chapter of the APC, Tuko Damfolani. In a statement, the publicity secretary of the party, Alhaji Idris, said the commodity was for distribution to APC members across the state. It's part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's agricultural transformation program. Damfolani said the minister's gesture to the APC in the state will boost the agricultural output, economic growth, and development. Now, Kano State Governor Kabir Yusuf has commissioned a multi-millionaire Dambata International Cattle Market upgraded through a collaboration between the state government and the Islamic Development Banks funded in the Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project. This was made known in a statement issued by the governor's spokesperson, Sanusi Tofa. He said the initiative is towards the modernization of the livestock value chain, especially in the areas of transport, logistics, to reduce mortality and improve the healthy environment. On the foreign scene tonight, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has announced a 48-hour nationwide state of emergency after the Israeli military launched what it called preemptive strikes in Lebanon. A statement from Gallant's office says a declaration on the state of emergency enables the Israeli Defense Forces to issue instructions to the citizens of Israel, including limiting gatherings and closing sites where it may be relevant. And our Lebanon's health ministry says one person was killed in an Israeli strike on the vehicle in the country's south after Israel launched what it called preemptive strikes against the Hezbollah. The Hamas movement later announced a fighter from Qaim had been killed. Our ministry also reported 2 people, including Syrian men, were wounded in the series of Israeli raids in the south. Our chief executive of Telegram Messenger, commonly known as Telegram, a cloud-based cross-platform instant messaging service, Pavel Durov has been arrested by the French police at an airport north of Paris. Durov was detained after his private jet had landed at Le Bourget Airport. Officials say the 39-year-old billionaire was arrested under a warrant for offenses related to the popular messaging app. The investigation is reportedly about the lack of moderators, with the accused of failing to take steps to keep the criminal uses of Telegram. In sport tonight, Nigerian football stakeholders continue to pay tribute to Christian Obi, the former Heartland head coach who lost his life in a ghastly accident involving the team on Friday. The former Nigerian youth international goalkeeper didn't survive the accident that occurred in Okigwe, where the next millionaires were traveling to Abakaliki to participate in a preseason tournament, with several players sustaining varying degrees of injuries. The incident has left the Nigerian football fraternity mourning, with the Nigeria Premier Football League board and the clubs paying tributes to the fallen star who kept goal for Nigeria at the 1985 FIFA World Youth Championship in Russia and the 1988 Olympic Games in South Korea. And our former Bayern Munich player and legend Lothar has slammed former coach Thomas Tuchel for his leadership style at the club. Matthias held that Tuchel's attitude and lack of belief in his player abilities were among the factors responsible for his short stay at the club. He added that such a situation was not good fit for the German giant, saying, in quote, "This was a big problem because it did not give the players confidence. It lost a lot of players who were very important for Bayern Munich," unquote. As we wrap up Global TV News Prime, let's take a look at some of our major stories. Flood has wreaked havoc and killed one person in Kano. The Department of State Service has released journalist Soyinka and withheld his passport. In business, the federal government has been urged to sell off Nigeria's refineries. And the force in Lebanon ministry has said one person has died in Israeli strike. And finally in sports, Matthias has said Tuchel ran one-man show at Bayern Munich. And that's a package of News Prime coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV channel 365, start times 276, and free to air, Nikomsat, showing on the perimeters. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on the screen. I'm Edika Mike. Many thanks for staying with us on News Prime. See you again.